Hey guys, it's the Cryptic Cinema here, and today I'm going to be doing a video showing you all of my Blu-rays in my collection, which my collection isn't really that big compared to what it was prior to when I sorted it out like a week ago. Yeah, my Blu-rays I just mainly keep on this bottom row here, mainly because this shelf that they're on, I unintentionally made that shelf smaller than what I needed. Yeah, let's get on with the Blu-rays. So I don't really collect Blu-rays anymore, it's really just DVDs. I really aren't a fan of Blu-rays, just the way they look, and the picture quality's okay, but sometimes the DVD transfers are just as good. So yeah, I'm just gonna show you the Blu-rays over here first. So here is the 3:10 to Yuma remake. It's a pretty decent film, not as good as the original, but still. 12 Years a Slave. This is a pretty intense film. I don't really think I'll watch it again. The A-Team, which is absolute shit. I would definitely not recommend this. I would recommend the original A-Team television series. This is absolute garbage. Alice in Wonderland, wasn't really a fan. I prefer the original animation by Disney. And of course you've got the overrated Johnny Depp, who will be starring in the sequel to this called Through the Looking Glass. Alien, the Alien quadrilogy. This is a pretty good box set. The third film is an abomination in my opinion. It's just so boring. I can get a little joy out of Alien Resurrection, but Aliens is my favourite. Almost Famous. This is a fantastic Cameron Crowe film. Amadeus. This is a remarkable film. American Psycho, one of my favourite films of all time. This I really do need to get rid of because I can't stand superhero movies. I do say that I don't like superhero movies, and I did get these when, I was about 16 going through a superhero phase, but I honestly don't like them, guys. I can't really watch them anymore. This is actually one of the better origin stories there is, and it's my personal favourite out of Nolan's trilogy. Beauty and the Beast. I believe the reason for owning this is because I had some spare points from Disney Movie Rewards a while back. Never actually seen the Blu-ray transfer. Bedtime Stories, atrocious movie. Blood Diamond, pretty good. Boogie Nights, this is a very, very good film about the adult entertainment industry in the 70s. Braveheart, still haven't seen Braveheart to this day, and I probably won't get around to watching it for another year. The Breakfast Club, this is one of my favourite movies of all time. This movie just defines teen movies from the 80s, and it's a fantastic film. I actually would like to class myself as a little bit of every one of these characters, but yeah, really good John Hughes film. The remake of Cape Fear, I'm not sure whether I actually prefer the original, but this is great. Robert De Niro. Captain America, again, enough with the superhero shit. Captain Phillips, this was a pretty good movie, although I'd probably never watch it again. I can actually move this stack of unwatched DVDs back onto the pile now. Where was I? Here we go, Carlito's Way. I bought this when I was obsessed with Scarface, and I probably will never get around to watching it. Casino, again, just a classic film. Chinatown, I actually thought this was quite boring at first, but upon rewatching it, I actually found it was okay. Clockwork Orange, I don't even need to say anything about that film. 10 out of 10, favourite film of all time. The Condemned, The Dark Knight Rises, which I absolutely hate. I actually went to the cinemas to watch this about 3 times because I stupidly bought about 3 tickets in advance because I was such a fan of the first two films. Awful movie, I don't care what anybody else says. The Deer Hunter, yeah, fantastic film. Deliverance, which actually reminds me of The Deer Hunter, which is weird that they're so alphabetically related, but yeah. The Departed, this isn't one of Scorsese's strongest films in my opinion, but still, it's a watchable film. Die Hard, which I've only seen the first Die Hard, I'm not really that into it. District 9, I know DVD Review Studios keeps persuading me to watch this, but I just haven't got around to it, and to be honest, I can't see myself getting around to it. Django Unchained. This is a pretty good movie. Leonardo DiCaprio's performance is excellent. Downfall, one of my favourite movies of all time. When I actually watched this movie, I was almost in tears by the end, and no film has ever done that to me before. Subtitled movie, but such an emotional film. Just watching this, I'd never felt this way before watching a film. It's just such a powerful, powerful movie, and everything about it I love so much. Empire of the Sun, another one of my favourite movies of all time. Christian Bale, such a young actor in this, one of his first roles, and just a great film. Ferris Bueller's Day Off, another one of my favourite films of all time. Then we have the First Blood and the Rambo trilogy. I do actually have the fourth film in a digibook, German digibook. This is The Good and the Bad and the Ugly, and, well, the Dollars trilogy. I haven't seen these on Blu-ray, but it's a fantastic trilogy. I can actually remember A Few Dollars More being my favourite movie out of these. I know a lot of people like The Good, Bad and the Ugly the most. The Frighteners, Michael J. Fox, yeah, it's pretty good. Gangs of New York, flawless movie. Well, flawless performance by Daniel Day-Lewis. Not really a big fan of Cameron Diaz, but Gangster Squad. This is a great film. Not too great, but it is a little bit underrated. Get Carter, 1971, another pretty violent film from 1971. But yeah, not my favourite Michael Caine film of all time. Still pretty good though. Gladiator, fantastic film. Goodfellas, one of my all-time favourites, probably ranks as my second favourite film of all time. Great Gatsby, this was a pretty good film. I watched it twice when it first came out, but I probably won't get around to watching it again. The Grinch, what a shit film this is. I would definitely not watch this again. I know that a lot of people do like this film, but I just cannot stand it. Grown Ups, I'm probably going to stop with the Adam Sandler films now. He kind of got shit after the late 90s. Heat. This film I actually thought was pretty boring at first. Then I gave it a few rewatches, and just a fantastic heist film. The Hobbit films, I got the first one on 3D Blu-ray and the other two. I'd probably say The Desolation of Smaug is my favourite Hobbit film. I'm actually just reading through The Lord of the Rings. I'm on the third book. But I've read The Hobbit numerous times, and this is my second read-through of the book trilogy. And yeah, just a great book trilogy. The Hobbit film franchise just didn't do it for me at all. Again, I think the first film is a load of shit. I couldn't stand that. The second film is probably my favourite, and this one is just... I can't even talk about that one. How the West Was Won. But anyway, I was rambling on about how I was reading The Lord of the Rings. I'm thinking of doing a book comparison with the films, for whatever reason. How the West Was Won, this is a really good film. The Incredible Hulk, yet another overrated superhero film. Well, actually, this is quite underrated, but yeah, I don't know. I don't really like superhero films that much. Inception, that is pretty overrated, but it's pretty good complex story to it. Inglourious Bastards, not one of my favourite. In fact, I don't really think this is too great. I don't really like that film. And Horrible, I got this for because it was £3 when Blu-ray was first released, and I thought it was worth it, but I probably will never watch it. IP Man 1 and 2, to my understanding there is a third one, and I probably will watch that at some point. The Jurassic Park trilogy, I actually like the third one. I liked the fourth one, but I don't think I'm going to pick it up on Blu-ray. The Jungle Book, one of my all-time classic favourites as a kid. The Killer Inside Me, this is a pretty sadistic film. Lady and the Tramp 1 and 2. The Last of the Mohicans. The Lego Movie. Les Miserables. Fantastic. Well, to be honest, I'm a big fan of the opera, but I don't really think the film is up to much. But yeah, I don't know. I'll probably read the book at some point. A Little Fuckers. Yeah. Lock-Up, Stallone. Not one of his all-time favourites. Not my all-time favourite Stallone films, but still. Monsters, Inc. Movie and prequel. New York, New York. This is a Scorsese and De Niro collaboration I still need to get around to watching. North by Northwest. One of my favourite Hitchcock films of all time. And the front... I can't remember. Yeah, I think this mimics an Indiana Jones comic, which I'll probably put the picture up to now. But there's a big, strong reference, especially just the theme alone, just the adventure theme. But yeah, Once Upon a Time in America. This is a 4-hour film, and it is one of the best films of all time. One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. Let me just put Little Fuckers back up there. I'm thinking of another appropriate name for that film as well. One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, Peter Pan, Rise of the Planet of the Apes, and Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. The Prestige, which, fantastic film. If you haven't seen The Prestige, it's a Nolan film that is kind of underrated, so I'd definitely recommend watching it. It's a Tarantino box set containing his 5 main films. Jackie Brown, very underrated film. Railway Man film. Ratatouille, one of my favourite Pixar films. Rear Window, this is, again, one of my favourite Hitchcock films. Risky Business, I just think Tom Cruise is... I preferred Tom Cruise when he was a young actor. I think as he's got older, he's kind of, I don't know, given up. But he's still a good actor nonetheless, no matter how overrated he is. But I just prefer it when he's in these teen comedies. Rocky, I do like Rocky. I probably would say the second one is my favourite. The rematch with Apollo Creed. Rocky Balboa is pretty shit in my opinion. The fifth one was a pretty decent movie. I like how it focused on the relationship between Rocky and his son, but that one does get shat on quite a lot. Scarface, I wish I'd got a better cover of this, but it's a fantastic film. Schindler's List, Sherlock Holmes 1 and The Steelbook is here. Sleepers, this is a very, very underrated film, starring Robert De Niro, Jason Patric, from The Lost Boys, Dustin Hoffman, really fantastic film. Kevin Bacon plays a pretty creepy role in this. The Spider-Man trilogy on Blu-ray, this is just some shitty thing that I think I got when I was a bit younger. Superman Returns. This is how Lex Luthor should look in a Superman movie. I did recently watch the god-awful Batman vs Superman, and it was just the shittest thing ever. I think the soundtrack for that film was pretty good, but this is how Lex Luthor should be, and it's fine if you like the Jesse Eisenberg sort of Lex Luthor, but I just prefer the sort of older, more experienced Lex Luthor. Taxi Driver, I wish I'd have got a better edition of this. This is just the collectible thing. Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy, I probably will not watch this again. There Will Be Blood, fantastic performance by Daniel Day-Lewis. Titanic. Tombstone, which is a pretty good Kurt Russell film, sorry. The Toy Story trilogy, Mr. Turner, Unforgiven, Unknown, The Untouchables, which has a very emotional performance by Sean Connery. This is a Brian De Palma film. Again, Brian De Palma is just a very diverse director. He directs gangster films, sort of dramas, comedies, horror films with Carrie. But yeah, very good film. V for Vendetta, I'm not really a big fan of that. Vertigo, which is one of Hitchcock's most known films, but I don't know, I just don't think I liked it that much. Probably have to rewatch that one. Wreck-It Ralph, never seen it to this day, don't know why I got it. The Wolf of Wall Street, it was pretty good. I don't really tend to watch recent films. The World's End, I don't know why the fuck I got that, it was a bit of a shit buy. The Wolverine, not very good, and then these are just shits. I mean, what a way to end the Blu-ray collection here, but I hate all the X-Men films. Because I can't stand superhero films, which is why I think I did a crap job at cleansing my collection, because I've still got half of films that I don't really care for. But nonetheless, I still do have most of my favourite movies on Blu-ray. There are a lot more movies that I will watch that are better than anything in my collection. But yeah, I do have a few other editions, like this Halloween box set, which features the Halloween Blu-ray. And down here we have, well, throughout the whole horror section we have Blu-rays like this. But here we have the Arrow collection on Blu-ray, which I have a bigger Arrow collection DVD, but yeah, so we have Caligula, which is one of my favourite Malcolm McDowell films of all time, spectacular film. The Cat, Oh Nine Tails, The Beyond, Deadly Blessing, A Bay of Blood, City of the Living Dead, Phenomena, which is one of my favourite Argento films of all time. I need to do a review of that, because I did a review a year ago, but it wasn't up to much, so I will have to do a re-review of that. The Visitor, which is a bizarre film. I actually couldn't get through The Visitor, I'll have to give it a rewatch. Blood and Black Lace, fantastic Giallo, Madman, and Eaten Alive, which is a movie by Tobe Hooper, or Tobe Hooper, whichever you prefer. But yeah, that was a pretty good movie. So yeah, that was my Blu-ray collection. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please rate, comment, subscribe, and goodbye.